here today. I've got the West Australian Stabicraft ambassador sitting with me, Arge Adrian from Arge Adventures. I like to call him Arge because that's his brand. I'll put it all here. Make sure you follow him on all his social platforms. We're going to get to what he is about to do. One hell of an adventure. Get to that at the end. But here we're just sort of, people are asking, they want more review videos on boats. As real as possible. So that's why I've got Adrian here with me today. We've got a few questions. I'm not going to keep this war and peace. We'll probably, you know, get to the real fruity bits. And then any other questions, make sure you hit up Adrian. He's always welcome to ask questions on the Stabicraft, specifically 2100 Supercab. I mean, you can see it. Look at this boat right there. Oh man, if I owned this boat, I'd be like, oh, so good, so good. But we have a few questions. We're going to jump straight into it because I don't want to waste time. So let's go. Adrian, number one question, and a few of these have come from some of my supporters. Yep. I've saved these questions. I know I was supposed to do this a month ago or something. I'm sorry.
Life gets busy.
Life gets in the way, as we all know. It gets in the way. All right, first question. Best thing you love about the 2100 Supercab? And there's probably a lot of things actually, to be honest.
That's a pretty broad question.
Let's go the three top. What was the three top?
Okay, so in no particular order, I'm gonna have to say stance. I love the way the Stabies look. The lines, I reckon, look tough.
Sexy boat.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Number two is just the way that they can handle the offshore. They do everything they're supposed to do. So the boat doesn't broach like a lot of other boats do. That's probably my second, well, close to favourite thing about the boat, I guess.
I'll actually put here, while we're talking, have a look at this video here. I actually told Adrian, or asked Adrian, we were at Two Rocks, and we were how fast were we going? I don't know, maybe 20 knots, and I told him to hook it right.
Yep,
remember that?
It was, yeah, hard right, yeah.
We did a hard right, and then came to a stop. I'll put it here, and have a look at what the boat does, because it's next level.
Yeah.
And number three? It's hard, eh? It's hard.
It's a too broad of a question. So,
we get down to it soon.
I just love what the brand represents. They've been around for a long time. So they have gone from building, I think they called it the Ugly Duckling back in the day, so 30 plus years ago. And they sort of had like these big bulging pontoons, and now they've created this boat that just looks so sick. And I think that's going to bring us back to the first thing I liked about the boat is its stance. The boat just looks so tough. I just love it.
So built tough, stance. So hull and stability wise, I mean, me personally, after going on a few Stabicrafts, I mean, I've been on, I think, a 1550 Fisher here, and Arge's, obviously, the 2100 Supercab. The pontoon system, to me, is just like, probably one of the safest boats I've been on, dude.
Yep, definitely on the aluminium side of things, for sure. The boat sort of gets to that point, and the ballast, or whatever you want to call it, just stops that boat, and it just gets to that point and goes, nah, you're not going any further, and just right itself, which is where they get the stability at rest, and they get that backing from it.
And most alloy boats, like, I love my fiberglass boats.
Yep.
Love my alloy fishing boats, but one thing that got me on these is we had like 3 blokes. I'm quite small, I know, but the other blokes were quite large. They were 6 foot at least on one side, and you know, most alloy boats being so light, when they're not full up, they just lean, like fully lean on one side, and you're like, oh, have we fixed this problem yet? Like, but then on the Stabicraft, it didn't move, dude.
No, just that tiny little bit. I think I got a photo of 4 of us or 5 of us on one side. And a lot of boats I've been in previously, if one person moves that off centre of the weight, of the balance of the boat, if you're not ready for it and you're sitting there skippering, the boat shifts across and you get like a little bit of have got, wow, what just happened then? But with the Stabies, you can move left to right or whatever, and the pontoon just stops you.
And your boat doesn't have trim tabs.
No, it does not, no.
Which I was impressed as well with that.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of times we went side onto some waves coming back wherever we were, whether it's Two Rocks or Rotto, it just, the stability, how it just holds its stance.
Yep.
Man, awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
Yeah, obviously every boat's going to benefit from a set of trim tabs, but for me, I just don't think I need it. If I was doing a lot of like trawling and certain currents or winds, then probably I would, but my style fishing, I don't really need it. No, it sits pretty square on the water, so yeah.
Sick. Okay, so Adrian's boat, 2100 Supercab. We have a Mercury 225 horsepower on the back.
Correct, yeah.
What can you tell us? How good is having the 225 on the back of your boat versus like a 200 or I don't even know what are they rated for? They're rated
so
for
max horsepower is 225.
225.
Yeah. So if you put it down to real world, a 200 to a 225, you're probably not going to feel a whole lot difference. You might get a little bit more top end, and you might have a bit more low down grunt.
Yeah.
I don't think personally there's a whole lot in it. Obviously manufacturers having different weights and bore sizes and all that sort of stuff, you might have a lot more comparison maybe. But I just went max horsepower because we used to do a lot of biscuiting, wakeboarding and that sort of stuff. So we have maybe 4 or 5 people on here. So some dudes, even kids sometimes. So once the boat's fully loaded and you've got 2 biscuits out the back, you can imagine how much drag's on the back.
Yeah.
So you want that extra oomph to get it going.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
That's the reason why I went max horsepower.
And I'm not sure the price difference either, but they do recommend like, good to go max horsepower if you can.
Yeah.
But as you say, if you're being real, you probably 200 probably would do the job.
More
It's
than
quite a light boat, right?
It is, yeah.
Like, that might be the difference between someone who's watching here today, it might just hit that budget threshold when you're buying a boat, right? Yeah. So, they have a range of what horsepower you can put on these hulls, from my experience, it comes down to affordability, I think, at the end of the day, right?
Yep. So if you can save $2,000 here, there or anywhere.
It's a lot of money to a lot of people,
Oh, that's a lot of money to me still.
Yeah.
And you can put that into a nice, or upgrading the GPS unit. So,
exactly.
And for me, I'd prefer to have a little bit less horsepower and an epic sound, to be honest, because if you don't have a good sound, it's pretty hard to find fish unless you're
God.
or up north somewhere where it's just real fish.
You could take it old school, go out on a boat. I'd love to see that actually. If you go out on a boat, turn your sounders off and catch a monster fish, I'd love to see that. Send me that. Alright, next question. Why alloy over fiberglass?
Good question.
For you personally, this is about you.
Yeah, okay, so 100% I went aluminium because I do a lot of driving and towing. So towing a fiberglass boat of the same caliber and build quality would be, I'd have to buy a bigger ute to be able to tow it. So weight was a big factor for me.
Okay, 225 on the back, what's that, the weight, towing weight, what's the towing weight? Roughly. I mean, it's under 3 ton.
Oh, well and truly.
Well under 3 ton.
With my Pacific trailer, so every trailer is going to be slightly different. So it's recommended that you go to a weigh bridge and actually weigh your boat and your trailer and what gear you've got on there.
Good advice.
So,
weigh bridge.
I am just about to go do it again because I've got a pretty awesome trip coming up. But last weigh-in with all my gear and the way my boat was set up, including the trailer, with minimal fuel, was 2.11 ton.
Oh, see, so you could tow that with generally any ute,
pretty much
3.5 ton. And I know when utes, they say you can tow 3.5 ton. Don't go tow a 3.5 boat. You just kill the car.
You are going to kill it.
If you're going to tow 3.5 ton, go buy a Dodge Ram or a Silverado or something like that.
Yeah, something a bit bigger.
Something a bit chunkier than a 4-cylinder. Just personal experience. Like, you can do what you want, but you're gonna hurt that motor, in my opinion. So that's just over 2 tons. So then you got heaps of like, you can load the boat up with all your goods when you want to travel north.
Yep.
You've got a fair bit of play there. So fuel capacity then, because we're talking weights.
Yep.
What's the fuel capacity in a 2100 Supercab, or yours, shall I say?
Okay, so my one at the moment has got 250 litres, all on the floor obviously. When I did buy my 2100, you had the option of having the kill tank.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
then you're only allowed 200 litres, and I thought to myself, fuel or kill tank? I was like,
yeah.
so I went fuel straight up.
Yeah, fuel.
Yeah.
That's the thing, with fuel, because kill tank. I mean, there's great to have a kill tank. Sort your fish out, put in the kill tank, drain it out, whatever. But then it's like that versus. I mean, if you got a monster boat, whatever, do what you want. But we're talking about a trailerized fishing boat here.
Yep.
So space and how things are set up is pretty key, right? Because you don't really have that much space.
No, it does get limited when you start putting a couple of guys on there, different bits of gear, and if you're going to do an overnighter, you just run out of room.
Run out of space, yeah. Okay, yeah. 250 litres, that's a lot of fuel, especially with the Merc, the new Merc.
Yep, awesome on fuel.
The new motors don't use much fuel, right?
That's exactly right.
You save money there just with the new motor.
Yeah, eventually.
Fuel's not cheap.
No, it's, so going back to not having the kill tank and more fuel, I just use the live bait tank. I just pull the bung out of it, dispatch my fish, and just turn the pump on, and it just flushes seawater straight in. So usually you can get most fish in there, but unless you get a nice big mackerel, then I just sort of leave it in the corner and
In a fish bag or in the esky, let it, and then. So these decks then, if this fills up with water, say, is it self-draining deck? Is it bilge pump? Is it both?
No, it's 100% bilge pump at the back.
100% bilge pump.
Yeah, so there's no self-draining. A lot of guys get a little bit worried about that, but I've had that much water over the side from big days.
Yeah.
And I usually just run the bilge pump on the auto, and it just spits it out as it needs to.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, your boat is your boat. It should be maintained.
100%.
So you should be checking bilge pumps are working anyway, right?
Yeah, I usually check it before I go out, and also when I wash it. So I wash it so it gets fresh water run through it. A little bit of soapy water, and then just rinse it out with fresh water again.
And actually, it's a legal requirement in Australia when you go certain miles offshore WA, specifically Western Australia. As soon as you go, sort of, don't quote, I think it's 5 nautical miles. I can't remember, but you need to have a bilge pump. Either way, even in my tinny, you don't legally need to have a bilge pump, but I've installed a bilge pump in there.
You just need a baler, I think.
Yeah, you just need a bucket.
Yeah, that's not...
I've never agreed with that, like a bucket, It's like manual labour. What's this shit? Like,
and you're trying to skip a lot.
I'm trying to save everyone's life, and here I am with a bucket like this.
No way.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, man. Alright. What about speed? What's your cruise speed? What speed do you like to do where it doesn't use too much fuel, it's comfortable for all your occupants, there's a slight breeze, you're heading into it. I mean, do you just smash through it? Is it better with this boat, with the Stabies, the way they're built, to just smash through it? Or is it adjust speed accordingly? What do you think is best for sort of this type of hull?
Oh, that's an age-old question, isn't it? Really?
It is. Again, it's all circumstantial.
It is.
Literally.
You're never going to get that unless you get a miracle perfect day, which I've had, I think, twice with my boat.
Yeah. Welcome to Perth. So top speed. What's the top speed then?
All right. So
glassy day. It's literally like a mill pond. You can hear tuna, bait fish in the distance, just smashing the water. What would you do?
Yeah, so I was lucky to get 41 knots out of my boat with a standard prop.
225.
Yeah, nice. So that was fairly moving.
Do it safely?
Yeah, it was all done at the ski area, so yeah, it's open speed limit there, and so that was good. When 41. Yeah, it's fast. It's
That's
probably,
pumping,
It
eh?
is fast. What's the rough mass? Like 73
Yeah.
73 k's an hour or
Yeah,
something like
okay.
that. So it's moving. But for me, when it comes to fuel economy, comfort, and just cruising speed,
Which is important.
yeah, because you're trying to save fuel at the end of the day, but you still want to get to where you want to fish at a decent time. You don't want to spend 2 hours steaming to your spot.
And if something takes that long to get there, you kind of think to yourself,
What
should I even be out? We're going 3 mile offshore. Yeah, 2 hours later. Yeah.
No, we usually cruise 20 to 22 knots. That's probably
Good speed, eh?
the most comfortable, probably close to the best fuel. Once you start getting 25 knots and above, you sort of just break out of that average and good cruising fuel economy. On a beautiful day, I think we're out there one time when we come back from the fads. I think we're doing about 27 knots, 28 knots.
And that was comfortable.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and we're sitting on 1.6, 1.7 litres. So
Oh, there you go. There's a
that
bit
was-
of figures there for you.
yeah, and that was with 3 pretty big blokes, and Sarah on board as well. So
Nice.
I think that's pretty good fuel economy in my eyes.
So, yeah, that is. So 250 litre tank, you get that. So 20. So if you're sort of cruising, say maybe 23 to 25, that'd be pretty good fuel economy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And you're still pumping along.
Oh yeah, it's not exactly pottering, is it?
Yeah.
Moving, so,
Yeah. All right. Here's a question, because we all love this question. Fishing. What is your ideal number of fishing in a 2100 Supercab? Now, this is the most realist answer you're going to get, because even though the boat is quite large. I mean, you've seen, put some drone shots up. Have a look here. You can see the deck space. Just the two of us doing a bit of posing, getting a photo. What do you recommend if you're fishing offshore? You know, you're going to have air skis, fish bags, tackle, cabin. Cabin's quite big actually, good storage, but you know, what's your opinion on your 2100 Supercab? How many people?
Alright, ideally for me, fishing at one time, I like 2 because I hate when the lines get crossed up or you've got 2 amberjacks or something cutting sick and you just make a mess. Usually fishing or going out on a trip with 3, so I'm always usually skippering. That's pretty much my one and only job. And then 2 people are fishing side by side. They can do whatever they want. They've got all the room in the world. And yeah, depending on what we're actually fishing or targeting, will determine how many people I put on board. Like we've had 5 people on this boat.
You could comfortably do it,
yes,
like, with them physically on board.
Yes, but 4 usually. If it's just a couple of us guys going out for a 2-3 hour trip, 4 of us, no worries. Yeah. We're all usually fishing 30 to 40 metres.
4 of you, including you, right?
Yes.
So three fishing on the deck,
And I'm skipping.
and 1 skipper.
Yep, 100%. And when I do get a chance, I will put a line out. Yeah, but there's more than enough room to fish 4 at one time if the conditions are right. 100%.
But Adrian's got a bit of something that assists him
Yes.
with this, which is bloody cool. I've been on the boat with him before when he's used it. What do you have on the bow that helps you stay in that spot?
It's the Minn Kota.
Oh,
Terra. So good. So,
Is that a lifesaver?
it's a game changer.
Game changer, sorry.
It probably could be a lifesaver. I mean, we were in the dam one time and I ran out of juice and I had to use it to get back to the shore.
Don't do that. Check your fuel.
I had a crook gauge, so it was not my fault.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, luckily it's what dam was it? It was Lake Brockman. Yeah. So,
Ran out of fuel. Well, that's lucky because you're not bloody in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
no. So luckily it's only
Don't do that.
700 metres. Was it Lake? I can't even remember now. Oh, I can't even remember. But anyway, I'll have to figure it out. It's down south, one of our favourite spots to go when we go on wakeboarding, and it's getting, especially if you want to go camping, it's not too far to go.
Good spot, eh?
Yep. And then everyone gets a crack. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So you don't necessarily need, I mean, it is a hardcore fishing boat.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yep.
But at the same time, in your 2100 Supercab, it's got a massive cabin.
Yep.
You could literally go for a weekend to Rottnest with this boat,
Yep.
family, you know, say 2 adults could camp in the front and maybe 2 small kids on the deck, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
You go for a weekend, you know, Rottnest has facilities where you can moor the boat up on the beach, the kids can use, the wife, the daughters, whoever can go use the facilities on Rottnest, obviously you got to pay for it. But you could quite comfortably do family weekender trips on this boat, eh?
Yep, yeah, easy.
And not worry about if the weather
turns crap.
Yes! I mean, you've done that.
We have. I was lucky enough to be there for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Last year.
I remember that.
This year, sorry.
This year.
Yep. So no.
Getting old.
No, you can. I mean, without the bunk extensions in the front, I'm 6'1" pushing, and I was a little bit long in there with 2 adults. What I should have done is had a bit more of a think about it and got the swag on the deck. So that's what I would have done. But you can get an option and have the bunk extensions. So what that does is when you're not using it, they just fold up to a little T and it becomes more of an enclosed storage.
Yeah, right.
Here. And then when you want to use it to lay down, you literally just pull a pin and it lays down. Let go of the pin, it's all spring loaded, and yeah.
Nice.
I think they're, don't quote me, about 280mm extensions to 250, so that's...
And I mean, it's quite a large cab. This is the 2050 Supercab FYI, so I think this is the newer model we're sitting in. But, I mean, you look at it, it's quite similar.
Very similar. You got a lot more deck space.
On this one?
Yes, compared to the 2100. So in turn, you've got more deck but less cab.
Oh yeah, true.
Yep.
Yeah, you can actually tell. This actually does have a smaller cab, but more deck.
Yep.
Yeah, it actually can tell, eh? But at the same time, I mean, this is a fishing boat, let's be real. But you can multi-purpose use it, right?
100%.
So you got, I mean, this boat has more rod holders than a bloody, I don't know what, but
there's a few in it.
There's, I mean, it's a fishing boat, come on. There's like up here, on the roof, on the gunnels, on the bait board. The bait board is like next level. The bait board is like solid. And then your kill tank's under there. That's got a pump in there.
It does, yep.
Yeah, it comes with a freshwater hose. Seawater, sorry.
Yep, you can plumb it up. Yes, it is seawater, but if you got a little bit technical and you can get a little water tank and put a ball valve in there and have fresh water.
Like anything though, right? With boats, you can just keep going.
That's right.
You just keep going. There's an option for this, option for that. It's just how much you can spend, I suppose.
Well, that's
which stops everyone.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. If you could do it again,
yep.
Would you get a 2100 Supercab or something smaller, or obviously I'm not going to say something bigger because we all want something bigger.
Everyone wants a bigger.
But if you could go smaller, would you have went smaller for you personally, or the 2100 for you and your family partner is perfect?
That's a good question. I went from an 1850 to a 21, so I was lucky enough to have the 1850 also for nearly 3 years. It's a funny question, that, because
you could do a lot with an 1850.
You can. We went offshore, downside of Hopeton to the
oh yuck!
Oh, what's it called now? I'm having a bloody mental blank at the moment.
He just mentions the south coast, and I get seasick. Keep your fish, I get sick.
We went to the Shelf down in Hopeton, so I believe it's about 69 kilometres offshore, and we did that in 1850, no worries. I mean, the day wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't great either. And that little boat did everything. We had 3 on board, had a little bit extra fuel, just because at that stage it only had 120 litres on there. So what I wanted to try and do was try and do some big trips. So hence why I got the 21. So I wanted a bit more fuel, wanted a bit more space. Because usually we fish 2-3 people, usually.
2-3 people.
Yeah.
On an 1850.
Still doable.
Yeah,
100% doable. But yeah, the 21, I just thought I could sleep in it and have a couple extra people on it and store a lot more stuff. And that was the main reason I went for the 2100 over the 2050. 2050's, I think, better for diving and purely fishing. You can still fit 2 swags, 2 people sleeping in there.
Yeah.
1 grommet in there maybe 2, depending how old they are. But yeah, for me personally, that 2100 was ticking all the boxes at the stage. And like you mentioned, I don't know, 30 seconds ago, everyone wants a bigger boat, and hopefully one day.
Dream boat. There's the question. What's next?
Not for a long time now. 2250.
Oh, it's a good size, eh?
Yeah, it's perfect. Ultra center cab.
Good size. Center cab.
Yeah, ultra
Not the.
center
So in the ultra center cab, is that still like a cab? Or,
It is, yeah. It's just got the raking forward window.
And you can walk around.
Yes, fully walk around.
That's the difference. Yeah.
So you can fish a lot more spread out, guys and girls on the bow, while someone's skippering, or if you're spot locked, and then you can fish down the side also.
Yeah, nice.
So that's my dream boat, but yeah, that's well and truly into the future now.
Yeah. Lovely. All right. Well, so the 1550 Frontier.
Yes. That
Noticed.
up north.
I've noticed that is getting a lot of attention. I'm looking on social media and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
everyone is loving the 1550 Frontier side console. Oh yeah, hopefully I can get one of those to take out for a burst. Adrian and I, yeah. Anyone listening? Anyone listening in here? But yeah, all right. That's pretty much it for us. Once again, just want to thank Hitech Marine for
cheers, guys.
letting us
Absolute legends.
use their awesome premises. Make sure you come in. There's a whole range of stock in here from Stabicrafts and other models that they have on displays. You've got all boating parts if you want to buy, you can get them in there as well. I really hope you like this little vlog Adrian and I done on his 2100 Supercab. Really not enough time to talk about everything because there is so much good.
Yeah, we're gonna need beers
With
and
it?
We're gonna.
If you want to hear some more stuff, put it in the comments below because I've clearly missed a lot. But hopefully you got a bit of fruit on how good the boat is from the West Australian ambassador for Stabicraft. I mean, yep.
Cheers.
But any questions, put in the comments, flick us a message. We'll be able to help. Adrian, thanks, bro. Honestly, good luck
Welcome, man.
good luck
Cheers.
on the trip. You're going. So jealous, eh? So jealous. But I'm so happy for Adrian and Sarah going off on this next adventure. So thanks again, guys. See you next one.
Cheers.